All right, so we are live. So I'm trying a new streaming software today. So I just want to make sure that we're actually live when I think we are. Let's see, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, awesome. I see us in our YouTube broadcast studio here. So we are live. Welcome back to DAP University. So today we have got a lot to talk about in our live stream. We're going to start off by talking about how the metaverse is now a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity, as measured by Morgan Stanley, okay, actually an $8 trillion opportunity or more. And what that means for everybody watching this channel, if you're trying to get in this space, capitalize on this huge blockchain trend, whether you're trying to be a developer, you just work in the industry, trying to position yourself on the right projects, all that type of stuff. We're going to talk about that. We're going to look at a lot of the news updates that have happened in this space since our live stream yesterday. Again, we do these live streams Monday through Friday this channel. Just turn on notifications, subscribe. You'll find out about those whenever we go live. We're kind of changing things up here on our streams, trying to freshen things up and add more value for you all. So you're definitely going to want to watch those as they come out. We're going to answer some of your questions, check on the crypto markets, and a lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step-by-step, start to finish, then head on over to dapuniversity.com/bootcamp. Get started today. Last but not least, like nothing I'm saying in this video is having financial advice for you. And there's lots of scammers on the comment section below. Just ignore them. Like I'm never going to give you my phone number or ask you to invest with me. It's absolutely crazy. So we got people jumping in the chat here. We've got, let's see here, Susanna, Jake, Analytical, Over Yonder, Natasha, ENIAC, Michael, Automatic Beats. Let's see here, Chris Palmer, Lee, Anthony, welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. So we're talking about the metaverse being valued as an $8 trillion opportunity in China alone. All right, and this is a huge deal. I know the metaverse is a polarizing topic for a lot of people. Many out there think it is, kind of a scam. They're not really sure what's going to work in the metaverse. Think there's too many blockers, and that something like this might be way too high of a valuation for such a new technology. But I'm going to bring on Walshy here, who is my new co-host on our live streams, to talk about this, kind of weigh in on this particular thing. So if you're just tuning into the live streams this week, you might notice we have a little bit of a change. I have brought on a co-host. So if you have not met Walshy yet from our stream yesterday, welcome, Walshy.
Hey, guys.
Awesome. So why don't you catch us up on this? So what's going on with this? Morgan Stanley sees an $8 trillion metaverse market in China alone.
Yeah, and that's quite a substantial valuation. Probably well-deserved. I mean, China is a tremendously large market. And to be completely frank, they are ahead of the United States in terms of digital currency adoption, rather. But I mean, what a valuation, right? When all is said and done, the current market cap, I believe, is at 1.8 trillion. So they're projecting that just Metaverse is going to be 4 times as large as the current market cap of all crypto, right? So that's quite substantial. But they don't see this happening overnight, right? It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen next week. In fact, they project this is going to be a very long time horizon. There's a lot of steps along the way, a lot of technologies that still have to be introduced, still have to be invented, refined, improved upon. Things like headsets, which is what they are specifically stating is kind of the first step, and having both VR headsets, but also AR, which means augmented reality headsets, will be kind of the stepping stone, that first stepping stone to get us to that place. I don't know about you, Gregory, right? But if I'm out in public, I'm going to the grocery store, I've got my AR contact lenses in, and I can just see the prices of like all the food just instant. That's super cool, right? I'm definitely on board for something like that.
Yeah, totally. So I know there's gonna be a lot of like skeptics out there of metaverse and if this is even possible. So I view the metaverse like this. Like we're still trying to figure out what it even is in the first place. But this is the nature of new technology, is basically you have something or you have a new technology that enables something that you couldn't do before, but you're not exactly sure to the extent that it's going to enable new use cases and what those use cases are and what's actually going to stick and what people are going to be receptive to. This has exactly happened with the internet, happened with everything else in the past, where stuff looks like a toy, initially, and then, people start experimenting with it, and then you find things that work. And over time, there's this core set of enduring use cases. And those kind of be the fundamental use cases that you build off of and find more new things to do. Happened with the internet, happened with, cell phones, and, don't forget personal data assistants before we had smartphones, right? Like who thought we were going to live our lives with Palm Pilots and handspring visors? But that changed, right? That was just sort of the initial form that kind of looked like a toy. Didn't connect to the internet natively. You had to sync it with your computer, all this crazy stuff. But that's kind of where we are with the metaverse right now, in my opinion. And so, a bet in this direction is a bet that we are going to find that type of thing, that it's going to, take off. And of course, this is over a longer time horizon for sure. But let's talk about some things that have to happen in order for that to really work. So, VR and AR, to me, there's kind of several bottlenecks. I mean, of course, there's regulations, right? But from a technical perspective, the big blockers to me seem like augmented reality, adoption, and VR. I'm just going to lump them into the same basket here, just for sake of argumentation. AR, VR technology and blockchain scalability seem to be the two kind of big technical barriers there. So what do you think about the AR, VR space?
I agree 1000%. I know right now that's the actual roadblock that's preventing any kind of new adaptation for a metaverse. When everyone thinks of metaverse, right, you think of like Facebook or Meta, right, as like their metaverse where they're going to bring their 1 billion people into the same spot. But like there's so many different metaverses, and I really hate that view that like the metaverse itself is just like a Facebook thing. The big roadblock is going to be getting around that image of what a metaverse really is.
Right.
Really, we're in a metaverse right now. You and I are,
right.
And everyone watching this, we're connected digitally. That's really all it means, in my humble opinion.
Right.
So the first big roadblock is getting used to the idea that you're already in a metaverse, and a metaverse is just another way to say a digital like hangout spot or a digital land, which again is also reality, just based on what we're at. Technology is an obvious second.
Yeah,
right now,
totally.
I think we're stuck on AR goggles. I've seen some videos of some pretty cool videos too of AR glasses themselves. They look like really thick rimmed glasses. And for the use cases that I saw, were just phones, just being able to use your phone, but it's like a HUD, like from a first person shooter, right? Like on your display. Pretty cool. But from there, right, there's going to be more technical roadblocks. Taking the lenses, taking the cameras, and that's the hard part, is the cameras to be able to detect reality around you, taking those and bringing them down level, essentially.
Yeah, totally. So we'll see where we'll see kind of where that technology heads over the next few years for sure. One other piece on this roadmap in terms of metaverse becoming a even more of a reality than it is now is we saw Oculus rebrand to Meta. Is it MetaQuest? I think is what they started to call their new brand. Yeah. So I saw some people had a lot of backlash about that. They thought that was a poor choice of naming, but I thought Oculus was a cool brand and they ruined it by changing it to Meta.
1000%. I agree. 100. Like it's a meta name. They should just call it meta name, right? It's the same thing.
Right. Meta Oculus.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah, awesome. So, speaking of metaverse, NFTs are definitely a huge part of what's going on in the metaverse, and we've got the story we saw come out yesterday. So, the big brains in the NFT space know that there's a huge opportunity to jump in and essentially create projects in the metaverse, because you're positioning yourself to capitalize on all these different, like all these different directions that NFTs could go. NFTs just in the NFT collector space, NFTs in the gaming world for crypto, NFTs in the metaverse. If we're assuming that a metaverse means this like VR world that's powered by blockchain, because NFTs find use cases in all those areas. So I'm gonna pull up this story real quick. Let me just take back control over my screen here. So I'm getting used to this new live stream workflow here. So Tom Brady, all right, just retired to spend more time at his NFT company. So I've seen a couple different versions of this article where it says more time with his family and also his NFT project. Okay. So the Los Angeles-based company, which launched in April 2021, is a hub for digital sports collectibles. All right, and has already produced NFTs in collaboration with athletes like Tony Hawk, Tiger Woods. All right, so you all know what NFTs are, and I'm not going to explain that. That article is written towards a pretty general audience because it's written on Fortune.com. But it's just sort of like another person jumping in the space who clearly has entrepreneurial vision, clearly has some significant backing and sees significant upside, to this space. We've seen lots of other celebrity projects. We saw, man, it's so many people. It's like Ashton Kutcher, is like Paris Hilton, Snoop Dogg, Melania Trump. Like I can't even remember how many people it is.
Tons. It's everybody at this point. It seems that way, and I think that's by design as well. I think that was kind of the whole idea, was to slowly onboard celebrities. You really started seeing it, I don't know, last year was when I really started noticing it. Right. For this particular project, though, it's got a list. It's got a big list, guys. I did some deep diving, and so some advisors on the board include executives from Lionsgate Films, Spotify, Cameo, Tiger Woods, Wayne Gretzky. They partnered with DraftKings. Sam Bankman-Fried is sitting on the board, as well as Apple executives. And so we've got some really big names for Tom Brady's NFT company, Autograph. Again, some really big names there. I don't really
it's called Autograph?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what to make of it, because the interesting thing about the NFT space is it seems like celebrity projects don't do well, but then bottom up, just random projects like, Cool Cats or Neo Tokyo, for instance, like they just blow up and has no celebrity endorsement. Nobody knows about them initially, except for the people that are actually paying attention to the space. So, like I'm a huge fan of Tom Brady, and, love the idea of going to the NFT space, but it's hard to really weigh in whether or not it's going to be successful, because it's really niche. It's like celebrity collectible playing cards, right?
Yeah, but it's sports playing cards. That's different,
exactly.
Right? That's a totally different, kind of untapped user base. And I'm not a big sports guy myself. I didn't grow up watching sports. I don't really watch a lot of sports, but I do understand that that's a huge world in and of itself. Okay,
bring a lot of adoption.
And we already have sports trading cards, which is a massive collectibles market. And it seems to me like they're trying to tap into that and create digital collectibles version of it. And who do you want at the forefront of that? Some like faceless corporate entity, or do you want Tom Brady? You know what I mean? This is like the guy spearheading the NFT, trading cards for any sport, right? Like, I mean, football is probably gonna be the easiest one to tap into because you can use your brand to get authority in that niche for sure. But we have all these other advisors on the board, and at the end of the day, people are just trying stuff and seeing what sticks. It may not work, but I would think, because now I would think out of the celebrity projects, it's not like he's just launching an NFT collection that's like a cash grab from his fans. I mean, he looks like he's actually trying to get a company to where all these people who have, sports careers can launch, independent collections. I don't know all the details behind the scenes. Some of this is just speculation, but out of all the celebrity projects that have rolled out, this seems like it has some of the highest likelihood for success.
I'm inclined to agree. For a celebrity project, 1,000%. I see a lot more people being interested in a Tom Brady collection than some. I don't want to put anybody on blast, but some obscure, random collection from a band from the 80s or something like that. I definitely agree with you. Like, if I was going to go for a football NFT, I'd go for the Tom Brady collection. And for the record, there's 16,660 of those, so more than just a couple.
Yeah.
They also, he actually was one of the original founders, but they also raised a Series B very recently with A16Z, about 170 million. So, I mean, they're getting some serious back.
Everybody's raised money from A16Z.
Everybody.
That's right.
I think I did, and I don't even know it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, whether you did or you know it or not, that's a different question. So yeah, I still make another video yesterday. I posted on my screen here. Another story that came up in November, but it somehow missed I didn't see it when it came out, which is this crazy story of the 12-year-old artist that sells almost $4 million in NFTs. Okay. So I've definitely seen the story of like the 12-year-old boy who made $400,000 off of NFTs over a summer holiday, in between school, so in between school sessions, like, it ended in the summer and then starting the fall. And then over the summer, he just made some crazy amount of money. And then some of the exact same age came in and made 10 times that amount of money. That's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It's nuts. I know. I'm quitting, by the way. I know I just showed up, but I know what I'm supposed to do. Now, my biggest takeaway from that is you get all these like anti-crypto, anti-NFT people that say that this entire industry is a scam and it's only, fit to create a couple wealthy people and screw everybody else over, etc. But here you have a clear example of a 12-year-old,
right?
12-year-old making life-changing like money, like generational wealth money, which blows my mind. I make music. I don't like to consider myself like a full-time musician. I'm passionate about it. I've been playing for 20 years, but I do other stuff too. And, I'm just very humble with it. But like, I know the industry, the music industry from the inside, the pay to play model, like having to, it's messy, and the artists typically get screwed over. And this is a perfect example of, sure, this is a 12-year-old, but other artists, musicians, etc., they can utilize the same model, and it's for their own like obvious benefit, but like life-changing benefit, where they can actually focus on their art, focus on their creative outputs.
Yeah, it's opportunity. Yeah, it's opportunity. That's what everybody misses. I mean, it's pretty classic human nature to just like condemn things you don't understand, especially when they violate some sense of, reality that you have constructed for yourself. So like, that's just classic human psychology. It's like you have a preconceived notion of how the world works, and something that violates that makes it uncomfortable. A vast, not majority, that's maybe not true, but a large number of people are just going to find a reason to say that's wrong and move towards condemnation. I do it with blockchain technology all the time. I do it with NFTs, do it with this, that. Oh, it's a scam. It's this, that.
I did that with the internet.
It is the internet, right? And then it's blindness, and it ends up being completely wrong. But when you look at it in terms of opportunity, and you look at basically what we're talking about here, like this is a sign of opportunity. And that's one of the reasons we talk so much about NFTs, Metaverse, all this stuff is because, and ultimately the reason we have this channel in the first place is to help people jump in on that opportunity, learn about the space, acquire technical skill that can give you a massive edge when you're trying to become a developer, all that type of stuff. So real quick, quick plug in that direction while we're talking about it, is we are going to NFT Masterclass next Thursday. All right, I'm going to share this on my screen here so y'all can see it. Next Thursday, on Thursday, February the 10th. All right. So I'm going to put a link in the live chat replay here. Y'all can just catch that. You can just look at the timestamp right there. Hold your spot today. Somebody asked me in the chat a minute ago, is it going to be a lifetime replay? If you join? Yes, you'll have lifetime access if you join the class. So let's see here. Let's talk about Jack Dorsey's project real quick. So I'm gonna let you kind of lead on this one.
Sure. So Blockworks reported that Jack Dorsey is building a DEX, decentralized exchange, with fiat on-ramps for Bitcoin. So we all know Jack Dorsey, creator of Twitter. We all know he no longer is with Twitter and is now focused all of his efforts on Bitcoin. And so apparently one of his first major pushes or projects, at least that's getting reported, is this DEX, this decentralized exchange. Why is this big? Because you can't build on top of Bitcoin itself. If you're building a decentralized exchange, that means you have to utilize smart contract technology. Where and how do you do that? This is all speculation moving forward from here. Just want to note that. But most likely, I believe they're going to be using Stacks to do this. Are you familiar with Stacks?
Yeah, somewhat familiar. I have not used Stacks myself personally. I don't spend a ton of time in the Bitcoin ecosystem. I hold Bitcoin. I don't do a lot of transactions on Bitcoin.
They take days anyways.
Experience with it, a little bit of developer experience with Bitcoin, but have not used Stacks.
So yeah, again, I'm the same. It takes forever to transact with Bitcoin. It was kind of my first coin, etc. But I love Bitcoin still because it is the OG. It's the reason why I'm here. Stacks itself is kind of a layer 2 scaling solution for Bitcoin. It's actually developed at Princeton, which is pretty interesting. Has its own unique consensus mechanism as well. It's called proof of transfer, and it's pretty similar to proof of stake. In the sense that you're staking your actual stacks. So, I mean, it gets a little bit more granular, but I just want to keep it basic for now. They have their own coding language. It's called Clarity, and so it's their own separate. It's not Solidity. It's not Cairo. It's Clarity. There's some issues on my end, but with Stacks, it's centralized. It's extremely exclusive. They were the first SEC approved release in the United States as a coin. So they're approved by SEC. It was a really big deal, but that means that they are considered a security. And so because of that, only accredited investors could participate in the actual ICO itself. And B, nowadays with I think there's only about 130 validators per node that are allowed. So it's very limited from the decentralization perspective. So I'm a little hesitant on that. Building a DEX though with a fiat on-ramp, that itself, major adoption. Again, for anybody that lives Bitcoin, they hear that, yes, I can go and I can trade coins and just purchase directly through the DEX. I mean, I've personally used DEXs, right? And sometimes getting your coins there, pretty brutal, especially if you're going on layer 2. Fiat on-ramps change all of that. So for the Bitcoin world, this is big news. This is great news.
Yeah. Basically getting into the Bitcoin ecosystem without having to go through centralized exchanges. Now, there, of course, is going to be, that sounds like you're saying with your analysis, some centralization risk here with the technology itself. But so clarify for me, though, the status of KYC with something like this.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to KYC.
Yeah.
All fiat on-ramps right now, as far as I know, at least that I've used, are all KYC. Except for MoonPay, I think isn't KYC. So
yeah, it's
there's another one.
I think MoonPay has payment limits though. You can only buy so much. Mm-hmm. That's how they get around it.
Which would make sense too. There has to be some kind of limitation there. I'm not going to say I'm an expert on the whole KYC area, but right. I would assume though that if it's Dorsey and it's for Bitcoin, there's going to be KYC for sure.
Yeah,
it feels that way at least.
Sense. Okay. Well, speaking of Bitcoin, I want to check on the crypto markets, kind of see what prices are doing here. Also, we got some. I want to answer a couple questions in the chat here. Let's see here. Learning about crypto audio files. So most audio files going to be associated with crypto projects are probably going to live on a decentralized file storage system like IPFS. Let's see here. What are thoughts on blockchain smart contracts with real estate? So in terms of real estate, probably the easiest thing to do there is going to be with non-fungible tokens or NFTs. So basically, you need to be able to transfer assets, and real estate is a non-fungible asset. And honestly, that's one of the things I'm most excited about with blockchain with NFTs down the road, is how we can model non-fungible assets that have value in the real world and then transfer those assets around, real estate contracts, like real estate titles, intellectual property. Like, do you own rights to a music catalog? Anything that's non-fungible, people put value on, we can transfer the ownership of that value on a blockchain faster, more efficiently, potentially in a more cost-effective way, and a decentralized, permissionless way with blockchain. Now, the big hurdles to that for something like real estate is probably going to be regulation for sure. The technology is there. You could take all the real estate transaction volume in the United States and put it comfortably on the Ethereum blockchain without having any scaling pains. But because it's already a pay-to-play system, you don't have to transfer it in a second. You could comfortably wait a few minutes for that transaction to go through. But it's the regulation that's holding that type of thing back, in my opinion. Okay. So let's go ahead and check on this. Let's go ahead and check on the crypto markets.
Here, real quick, I'd like to weigh in as well. I definitely agree. Regulation's holding it back. There's a lot of examples out there right now of real estates trying to tokenize and turn into NFTs, I think it will be big. Right now, it can be pretty big outside of the US. I don't think it's coming to the US yet. There's still a battle with
100%.
regulators. But I think it's definitely an area, because think about it. Think about staking a house, literally.
Yeah.
Like that's quite excellent. There's a lot of liquidity in that. So it'd be really interesting to
We call that being a landlord. Call that rent. That's
I
what
don't own any property, but it makes me want.
Staking is in real estate right now.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Very cool.
How you turn a house into a yield producing asset, get a tenant. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think we're going to see, I mean, we already are seeing stuff outside the U.S. We don't have status on how legit all those projects are, right? In terms of their jurisdiction, some of those things could be some fly by night.
I have alpha if you want me to drop it.
I mean, are we gonna get in trouble?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Sure.
Well, there's a DAO. It's getting a lot of traction from like the Bankless DAO. I know Creator DAO has done work with them as well. RE Token DAO has done some work with them. It's called CITA DAO. It's spelled CITA DAO. Again, this is only outside the United States. So if you're inside the United States, like I am, sorry, but take a look. They're doing some pretty interesting stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely check on that. CITA DAO. Awesome. So let's pull up the crypto markets here, and I want to see. I'm going to try this on my live stream software here. Let's see if I can share a screen. Let me see if I can share. Let me just try this. This is brand new for me, everybody. So if this looks wrong, then my fault here.
I think it looks good.
Let's check on the crypto markets here. So anyways, we've got, Bitcoin. Let's just kind of see here the past couple of days what's been going on here. So we got Bitcoin back. We had it back above $39,000. Okay. Yesterday. All right. And then we've seen a little bit of bearishness since then. Again, where are we kind of big picture with the crypto markets? We've been in a position where we've been kind of in some bearish territory for the past few months. Okay. In my opinion, one of the biggest things that caused crypto to kind of, really tank, maybe below that, $50,000 level significantly has definitely been going on with the broader economy. Again, I don't pretend to be a macroeconomics expert, all right, by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think it takes a genius to realize that there's lots of factors affecting both the stock market and crypto market, and that it's going to be hard to kind of break that correlation anytime soon. We can kind of check what's going on with the stock market here. Let's just pull it up. What I have been saying is that we're probably not going to see, just a, crypto massive reversal until we see some progress in the stock market, turning around. Okay, pretty confidently. So let's just pull up, see what's going on with the stock market here. So we have, we're seeing a little bit of recovery, but I think we need time before we're kind of out of the woods with crypto. I put a poll up my Twitter yesterday, saying, do we think we have bottom for the crypto market yet? So let's kind of see what the crowd thinks. Let's go. I'm gonna pull up, see what the
I voted on that one. I'm not going to say what I voted.
All right, so we've got 62% say no, 38% say yes. Let me know what you all think down the live chat replay. Have we bottomed yet, or have we not? So see,
I hope we've bottomed, but you can't really tell. There's a lot of correlation with the macro markets, like you were just saying. It looks like I didn't even see this because we were doing prep work, but it looks like there was a fresh dive as we were doing prep work for this morning. I went to Cointelegraph while we're just discussing it now. It looks like they're correlating it with PayPal shedding nearly 25% off of its price this morning.
Oh yeah.
Meaning, of course, that there's a correlation between tech stocks and tech markets, so like crypto.
Well, also particularly fintech. That's another big aspect of that right there. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I'm a realist. I've been around these markets for a long time. It can definitely dip when you think it's done dipping. So, time will tell. I've definitely not lost hope for the long term for crypto by any stretch of the imagination. My opinion, this seems most likely scenario, of course, not financial advice, is that this is a temporary correction. Now, you could always define temporary. You could say 2018 was temporary, right? But I measure temporary in the term of a multi-month scenario rather than a multi-year scenario, which is what this most likely seems to me. But we'll see. Everybody has to make their own decisions. But that's the bet that I'm making.
I think it's changed, and this is all speculative, so I don't know, right? But I feel like the markets have changed. There's just too many institutions. There's too much infrastructure technology. There's too many new developments. There's too much interest. There's too many celebrities now. To me, I feel like after, just to make sure I'm playing it safe, what happened in 2020, we all know. After that, I feel like markets started changing forever, especially after like DeFi summer and all these new use cases came out. I don't know. Earlier in 2021, around May, we had a dip. That was when China banned cryptocurrency mining, and of course, everyone had to compensate for that. Miners everywhere had to increase their hash rate, start making more, make up for the loss of mining in China, and of course, the market seriously recovered. And now, for the last couple of months, we've kind of seen like a downward trend. But to me, it's not like a sudden like, oh God, right? No, not at all. This has been pretty steady for almost like a healthy steady for like 3 months. If I was just to sound off on it, we'll know we're at the bottom if all the celebrities with the NFTs just leave.
That's right.
They're like, no, I'm out.
That's right.
But I don't know. Again, like I said, I feel like this is, and again, I don't want anyone to lose money. It's not my intention, but I almost feel like it's like a healthy correction at the moment because it doesn't feel sudden. It's not like, and again, I was only here in 2017 for a small period of time. But I remember when that corrected, and that was not steady. It went quick.
Yeah, it knifed really, really fast. I mean, we also went up really, really fast. I mean, what we saw over the past, year was like, we went up really fast the first time, and that almost had a better reason to think that would have been a long-term top, but it wasn't. But the second time, I mean, it just reached basically the same price as it was before in a matter of months. It has basically increased by about 50% or doubled, I guess I should say. It reached about 100%. So, I mean, but like, my thesis on this channel always is about adoption and use cases. And that's why I always try to stick to the metrics, especially when talking about, growth here. So, I mean, we have active addresses on Ethereum, which have been kind of flat over the past maybe year or so. That being said, to me, though, that would indicate that extreme bearishness is not called for because we have so much adoption, more reasons for people to hold Ether, all that type of stuff. And we're also seeing layer twos that are built on top of Ethereum also increase in use cases, or not in use cases, sorry, in utility. All right. So, or utilization. So as we see layer twos continue to take off, as we see, consistency with, the number of active addresses on a network like Ethereum, other layer ones continue to spring up in response to this. That's all good for the space and does not warrant some sort of brutal long-term bear, in my opinion. Because if anything, I mean, we talk about network effect and adoption being a pretty good correlation with the crypto prices long-term. But one thing that is often overlooked is this is just more people who are like, this crypto thing's not going away. Maybe I should buy some more right now. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's more and more people who see the huge value on the table.
I'm one of them. I'm here. I haven't sold anything. I might be stupid for not doing that, but I invest long only. I don't do short investing at the moment. And totally. I'm with you. Yeah. I definitely don't see the space going anywhere. I only just see development and hardware and new technology and new players and celebrities and all this other very positive, just extremely optimistic developments that are happening. It's down right now. Be careful when you invest, but stick around.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. So we've got a couple of the questions here, and then we'll wrap it up for today. Let's see. Somebody says BTC spot ETF coming March. I hope so, but we've seen several rejections. I'm not too optimistic. I think
We
it would be
actually
good
just
though.
saw one very recently. It was like a week or two ago. They cited Tether and the
Yeah.
fact that the market can still be manipulated in that sense.
Yeah.
Once you see a resolution to the Tether, you'll probably see a resolution to spot BTC. However that plays out, that's just speculation.
We'll see. If everyone, someone says if everyone thinks it's going to dip, it's going to moon. Sometimes crypto markets do have a way of, doing what people think is not going to happen. So let's see here. So thoughts on blockchain smart contracts, the real world real estate. So definitely go check out the live stream replay after we wrap up today. We just talked about that maybe about 15 minutes ago. How will the business cycle affect crypto markets? So, I mean, we're kind of seeing that right now. I mean, if what's happening with tech stocks is, if you want to call that part of the business cycle, then it's definitely affecting crypto right now.
A follow-up from yesterday. TK says India just imposed a flat 30% tax on crypto profit. We actually covered this yesterday, and there's actually a small update that I have. Apparently, so the Indian tax department chief says crypto tax, so taxing crypto, doesn't mean it's legal. So there's just massive confusion. Like, here's a 30% tax, but no, don't trade it. It's illegal. Right?
Yeah,
like, what is going on in here?
I saw somebody comment on the live stream yesterday after it was finished. They didn't catch it live, but they posted a comment on the video. And they were saying basically like that they're from India and like they're kind of just as confused as we are.
Yeah. India doesn't even know. I mean, as soon as they figure it out, though, 1.2 billion people, man.
Yeah, that is sort of the bullish optimism here, is that the floodgates could be open for participation from a large number of people.
There's a ton of Indians already involved in the space as well. Like every DAO I've been to, right, there's always Indians participating. So it's like obviously a very active, interested market as well.
Yeah, totally. It's awesome.
Yeah. I think we're all cumulatively saying, like, for our governments to figure it out, though. So welcome to the.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's kind of either the cryptos. You want this global inclusion of everybody. And, in my opinion, it's like from a regulation standpoint, if you're like trying to regulate crypto and say, don't touch it, you're cutting off opportunity from people when the rest of the world is going to take hold of that opportunity, and it just doesn't seem like a wise decision in my opinion. All right, everybody. So that's all we got for today. As always, smash that like button down below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so more people learn about blockchain. If you're as fast in this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? Well, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I can show you become a blockchain master step-by-step start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.
Later, everybody.